Dr. Homebrew is brought to you by 5 Star Chemicals, providing safety and cleaning supplies for brewing, distilling, and winemaking at 5starchemicals.com.
Doctor, look!
Stand aside, nurse. I'm Dr. Homebrew.
Stand clear.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Dr. Homebrew, the only show on the Brewing Network that talks about homebrew without any dick jokes. So I feel like that's pretty good. I feel like it's a good thing for you.
We were talking about the way the sheath was coming off my microphone on that last show. I think that was close to a dick joke.
That's about as close to a dick joke as you're going to get on Dr. Homebrew.
Isn't a sheath a vagina, though? Isn't that a vagina joke, not an actual dick joke?
But you accuse...
You never can tell.
My microphone of being a little too thin.
I did.
That's a dick joke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, but any other show, we would take 5 minutes on that.
Right.
And,
okay.
Look.
We're just under 30 seconds and we're moving on.
We're only dudes, right? We can only do so much. You gotta have fun a little bit. But, for the most part, man, we try to keep it clean around here because, look, it's very serious. Judging is very serious business. It's very serious. I take it very seriously. I'm very serious about it. Not really. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. Before we get too far afield here, I want to tell you guys about our fabulous sponsor, 5 Star Chemicals. Go to 5starchemicals.com and learn about all the myriad of ways that you can clean and sanitize your brewing equipment for home brewing. If you want to make classic beer, you want to make great beer, you want to make amazing, well-fermented beer, you have to have good equipment. You have to have clean equipment, and then you have to sanitize that clean equipment. And these are steps, people. We know this now. Everyone's falling in line, and the people at 5 Star are leading the way. So go to 5starchemicals.com and learn more about how to make some good beers, dude. Okay. We have a good show for you today. We're going to talk to Matt. Matt was on our last show, and he sent us a brown ale, so we're going to chat with Matt here. And then we have Ernie in the studio to talk about Helles, which is one of my favorite styles. And Ernie's been on before, right?
That's
been
right.
Here before, yeah.
Ernie has been here before, yeah.
I'm a 3-time loser.
Oh, really? Oh, no, 3-time loser? That's too bad.
He's got a lot of grog tags at home.
Yeah. That's for sure. I'm hoping he meant loser on the show and not loser by being on the show, because only losers are on the show. So that's what I'm assuming he meant. But
you said it, not me, JP.
That's true. I did. Shit.
Oh, man.
I got to learn not to say stuff.
I get to go to Portland in 2 weeks, dude. I'm so happy.
Really?
Yes.
What are you going up there for?
So my friend Brandon and I have known each other for like 20 years now. We just figured out, and when I got out of college, I started teaching at the German American school up there just to try to use my German major for something useful.
Okay.
Decided that wasn't for me, but made some good friends up there. And I've got a lot of friends from the time that are still around. So we're going to try to kick around and see some breweries up there and play some music together, maybe do an open mic or something, Oh,
cool.
I don't know. We'll see.
That'd be
because
neat.
he and I used to jam together and play like shitty little open mics in Portland back in the day at little coffee shops. And there was a bar, like an Irish bar, and it's closed now. I forget what it was called even, but it had like 101 taps or something on the southwest side of Portland. And it was like this big restaurant with all these taps, and who knows how clean they were. But yeah, I was like, Portland helped open my eyes to good beer, because I was like, wow, when I moved out from Minnesota to the West Coast, I'm like, this is cool. Do
you like prosciutto?
No.
You don't?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
do you like Elliott Smith? I mean, were you competing with him at the time? And I guess you won that battle because you're still alive.
No,
right
we
now,
lost that battle. We were like, we had.
I meant prosciutto as in the meat, not like a band or nothing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be very clear.
Thank you. No, yeah.
Okay.
In both senses, no, sorry.
Right.
I hate to disappoint.
All right, that blew my whole story, Brian.
Okay, wait, I like prosciutto.
You do?
Sometimes.
Okay, well then there's a
good
bar,
Italian prosciutto.
There's a bar called Hamlet. It's in the Pearl District. And they have like 10 kinds of fucking prosciutto, like different kinds of prosciutto.
Wow.
Yeah, and cocktails. It's the weirdest mix I've ever heard, but it was amazing, and I wanted to recommend it to you. But now I don't want you to go there because you don't like prosciutto.
It'll distract me from all the breweries I need to hit.
My travel tip for you is that Portland has the most strip bars per capita, so don't go there. But that's
right.
It is true. It's a true fact. Look it up.
I've heard of that fact too.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't know. I'm just not a strip club guy. I don't do it, but I hear Sassy's is the one to be at.
Okay,
that's the one that Justin always talks about.
I heard Mary's is the classic one.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's where my friends would go.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel weird, man, going into strip clubs because I just sit and talk with people, and they're like, "Do you want to lap?" No, I don't.
I think they serve good beer at Portland strip clubs, though. It's one of those things.
That's the thing, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that's the deal.
Good beer.
So before we bring Matt on the line here, let's crank through one of these live reads, dude. Oh, did I throw that out? No, I didn't throw that out. The iDip, our good friends at the iDip, the smart water, the smart brew. I always do that. I get dyslexic sometimes when I'm trying to rush through stuff. I need this font bigger. The Smart Brew Water Testing Kit. It's a handheld water tester. It's pretty awesome. It's for home or commercial use. You can use it in your home brewery, or if you're a commercial brewery, use it in your big brewery too. It's the only meter on the market that runs water tests with no math needed on your part. No more titrations, no more addition and subtraction and all that kind of nonsense. Nobody wants to do that. I mean, let's be real for a second. That's why God invented calculators. You know what I mean? We found the first calculator mine, and our lives were ever changed. It has a smartphone app, so it syncs to your iPhone or your Droid or whatever you use, and you can email the results of your water test to your rest of your brew team if you're a commercial brewery, or you can post it on your Facebook page and let your homebrew club get the lowdown on your base water profile. It can test over 40 different water quality tests. You test for things like total alkalinity, chloride, calcium hardness, pH, sulfate, and more. And the best part is only 4 milliliters of water are needed for each test. It uses a patented, safe, and simple reagent testing method that anyone can use. Again, no math. Head over to smartbrewkit.com and save $10 at checkout by using code TBN10.
It saves water, too. Yeah, you don't have to waste as much water, especially here in California.
Yeah,
and
sure,
I remember sitting in sixth grade science class titrating with phenolphthalein until it turns from pink to clear or whatever the shit.
Yep.
I don't like that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't like that
either.
Test
my home water. I don't need that.
No.
I need a little simple instrument that can do it all for me.
It's 2016. Most things should be automated.
Yeah, the interwebs weren't invented when I was in ninth grade. So
right.
Things have improved, and there's a reason they have, and there you go.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Yeah, I don't like doing math. I hate it. And it makes me feel stupid sometimes. Like how little I know.
Do I carry the one? Do I not carry the one?
Dude, I just even addition, subtraction, sometimes I go, wait a minute. 87 plus, 93. I got to go, really? What the fuck is that? And it takes me a long time.
We're all slowly turning into idiots just because all the information is right there.
Yeah, but I think that also pushes technology too, because if we weren't turning into idiots, we wouldn't need something like the iDip, right? So
the
now
more idiotic we become,
the in our hand and be like, boop, there, I'm done. I'm done. It's easy now. It saves me a bunch of time. Anyway,
Siri, what is a milliliter?
Oh, dude, conversions all the time.
Ugh.
I yell at my Alexa.
Tell me in ounces, please.
We have Matt on the line. Matt, are you here, bud?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. How you doing, man?
You sound familiar. Have we talked to you recently?
Long time no talkie.
Right.
That's I'm unimpressed, dude. Where are you calling from, man? Or where are we calling you to?
Orange County.
Oh, I thought you were like the Midwest or some shit like that.
Okay.
It's funny you say that every time I'm on too. I feel like I should probably just move out of California just so JP could be right once.
I'm trying to just give you a hint. I'm trying to be like, what are you doing, man? Come on. Orange County, huh? Uh-oh. We got a thing. Are these all clean glasses right here?
They're clean, but they smell like
I popped the cap in the on the 22 ouncer, and it started pushing out foam.
I know. I just popped mine, and it started pushing.
This one
did. The
other one didn't do it, right?
Let's see. Yeah, let
me pop the third one. This is one of the reasons why I asked for 3 bottles.
Is it? Oh yeah.
Hello. A little bit. A little bit, maybe, but I don't know. Which bottle do you guys want to use?
The 12.
You want to do the 12? All right, there you go.
I want to do the one that's pushing out the foam.
Oh, yeah, actually, we should taste that next to it.
There you go. There's that one. So is this your first attempt at a brown, Matt, or?
Yeah, this was.
All right, are you a big fan of that style, or are you just kind of trying to brew down the styles?
Yeah, no, I like browns quite a bit, so.
Yeah,
I feel they're pretty underrated. Yeah.
They really are. Not a lot of people make them anymore, really. And I've heard the stories because it's hard to sell a beer with color in the name. Like the same thing, like the rise and fall of the red ale is kind of partially that same reason too.
Yeah, I feel like they should just change the name.
Right, just to like dark pale ale. Well, now you can call it dark IPA, and I'm sure it would sell like hotcakes.
Yeah, if you just call it a brown IPA.
Brown IPA. Oh, for sure, absolutely. All right, Brian, why don't you start us off with this brown IPA?
This was a well, okay. Wait now. So you're calling it a brown IPA?
No, we were sorry. Matt and I were having a moment, and I know you were examining bottles, so you probably didn't hear.
No, I heard
joking.
a bit about all the different styles you can call. What you can call it to make it sound better.
Well, there you go.
This was presented to me as a coffee brown, and then halfway through judging it, we were told that it was an American brown-based style. So we judged it as 30A spice herb beer, basically, and. So, yeah, opening it had a nice hiss, and the bottle fill was great. Yeah. A nice, kind of a dark chocolate note in the aroma up front. And there's a fair amount of roast in here. It's there's a little kind of coffee-esque thing poking through beneath that, but and there's also, I got like kind of an interesting little green chili pepper kind of thing in there too, which some coffees can throw off, but sometimes maybe from dark malts with a certain kind of roasting to it. I don't know. There's a medium low. I got kind of maybe low citrusy hop. There's not a lot of hop in this, but that's fine. It's mostly the malts and the chocolate shining through. I got a little bit of raisin, fig, and tobacco. The esters are medium low and kind of out of the way. No DMS or diacetyl. It seems cleanly brewed. Not sure what happened on that 22-ounce bottle, but that's another story. Color-wise, it's a nice, rich, dark brown color. It's got these kind of orangish red highlights. It's kind of rubyish with a slight orange tinge to it in the highlights there. It's a pretty beer. Nice, very clear, low light tin head of fine bubbles that fades quickly to a thin collar. And then in the flavor, it's a rich, again, chocolatey malt. If anything, it's got kind of a little diner coffee, in that big white, thick, mug that you get with free refills.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
There's a low roast in there too. But yeah, the coffee part of it just tastes a little thin. And then we were told that maybe there's not coffee in this. Or probably there is no coffee in this. Or definitely there's no coffee in this.
There's definitely no coffee in that.
So then we wanted to erase all of our comments and start again and say, oh, well, it's okay. I'll just keep going. I'll shut up and continue. The balance is definitely to the malt.
That would be a good trick.
Low citrusy hop. I never do that, right? The roast really lingers in the aftertaste. It's very roasty beer. So even for American brown,
dude, yeah.
it's got these portery kind of qualities to it.
But I don't hate it.
Throwing it out style.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah, like the balance of it is good, and there's just enough bitterness to it. It's kind of medium, firm, and supportive, and a low citrusy hop. It's not like one of those hop monster modern American brown ales like, that guy tasting McDowell and his Janet's Brown and all that stuff.
I can't do that beer. I don't understand. That beer is so sweet.
It's not quite there, but it's roastier and it has less hops than that, definitely. At least to my palate. And that roast just kind of carries through in the aftertaste. It's really pleasant. So, yeah, again, overall, hard to categorize this beer. It's not really meeting the American brown style or too much coffee. But yeah, body-wise, it was just kind of medium bodied, medium low carbonation. A little hint of astringency from some of the darkest malts that are in there. No obvious warmth, but it seems to have a little bit of alcohol to it as well, and just in the flavor and the aroma, and the feeling of it. getting a little buzz. So overall it's an interesting beer with some nice brown ale flavors. The roast is a bit too high for what you'd call an American brown, and the coffee, if it is there, it does not come through as hoped. It hints at coffee, it really does, but it's missing that warm body and the more intense flavors of the bean. So if you're going to declare it as a coffee brown, increase the coffee. As an American brown, decrease the roasts. You could bump up the hops a little bit if you want to go more modern with it. But if you want to go more classic with it, you definitely want to get the sweetness up a bit. And I think, in general, just bringing up the sweetness a bit in this beer would help it too. It's very cleanly fermented, and it's a nice beer. I think just to get it to where a crappy-ass picky judge like me is going to score it in the 40s, you need to dial in the recipe a little better and get it to meet those characteristics that are desired for this style. So it seems to me, Matt, maybe you just did kind of an experiment beer, and you said it's probably your first brown ale that you've made, and you had some fun with it, and that's great. I think that's great. As it is, I would judge it like a 30 and just call it's a good beer. It's just not quite to the style, and then we were misled as to what it really is, and this is just par for the course here at Dr. Homebrew. So, thank you. I will shut up now.
Wild the shots at me today. What's going on?
I feel like maybe when I send the beer in, maybe I should put masking tape and write on the beer what it is.
Well, that would help. And then the email. Well, the email says coffee brown. What am I going to do? Say doubt you? You know what you're sending me.
Coffee brown?
Yeah, you're like, I have a IPA and I have a coffee brown. I'm like, fuck, it's a coffee brown.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I think maybe when I sent that, I was thinking of adding coffee, but then when I tasted it, it had so much coffee in it.
It's good already.
You misled us.
All right.
Okay, so this time we can blame the entrant.
I definitely misled you.
What's interesting is, we opened both of the remaining bottles, and they taste different. I think they taste different.
Yeah, so there's a few beer. I bottled a lot of them at different times, and the beer I'm drinking is definitely something went wrong in it. And I'm guessing that's what happened with that 22 that you guys are popped open. Like this one that I have, it's really thin and super carbonated. So
the 22 kind of foamed up a little bit. The second 12 ounce started to. You could see some percolating in there. And I didn't have any of the kind of original one, so I don't know. I'm assuming that didn't happen to the guys when they judged it earlier tonight. But
there might be a light phenolic kind of creeping up in that 22 there.
Actually, I think the strangest thing for me is the second 12 ounce has the weirdest character of the three. Getting an acetaldehyde on the I don't want to say that word, but on this single bottle I get that, and all other two bottles I don't, which is a really strange thing. Acetaldehyde usually is not an infection sort of thing, but
maybe it's playing with the malt.
Yeah, but no, I mean other two I had none of that at all.
Yeah,
and even right now I'm tasting the 22 ounce and I'm smelling it, and I'm not getting that at all. But in the other 12 ounce. I get this very predominant, green apple skin sort of thing, and I would, anybody else is welcome to try it, or I'll just pour it on the board too. Is another way to do it.
I want someone to smell this. Matt, here, smell this.
But I mean, it's and it's crazy, and it's and that's not even what I'm going to talk about in the comments at all. But it is totally.
It's weird. There are 3 different bottles.
Yeah, outside the box.
I think there's more of a difference from the 22 is definitely a little drier and something a little funky going on.
Yeah,
there.
well, you can even just see it right there in the that kind of tight, rocky head in the bottle, just sitting up there. Anyway. Sorry, Keith, go ahead.
No worries. So I got a lot of toastiness, light roasty, some chocolate. As it warmed, I got more and more chocolate. I was looking for coffee, and I got more chocolate all the time. And then we learned, like Brian said, there wasn't chocolate in there. Some alcohol in the nose. Otherwise, very clean. The one I tasted, no off aromas. Toasty chocolate. Those are the things I'm looking at most. Even a little bit of burnt crust, bread crust there as well, and generally enjoyable in the nose. Maybe a little heavy on the roast for an American American brown. In American brown, I'm looking for a lot of times a little bit of hop aroma. I know Brian said he smelled some citrus. I didn't get any of that at all. To me, it was like, well, there's no hop, and if it's coffee, I'm cool with that. But moving on, dark brown, ruby highlights. Once again, really clear. I don't know if you mentioned that or not. Maybe it's another gelatin beer, but it looked really pretty brilliantly clear. Awesomely awesome. It looks awesome as a beer. Head stuck around long enough for me to say 3 out of 3 in terms of appearance, which means it's obviously top of the line there. Flavor kind of continues the same thing with aroma, toasty, slight roast, chocolate. Not overly sweet though. Just kind of drying, which is an American brown is what you're kind of looking for anyway. But also looking for some of the American hop. At this point, I learned that there was no coffee, so I was starting to judge it halfway through as an American brown ale. And I'm like, oh, where's the American hops? And there really weren't any to me at all. I'm like, it got stuck somewhere in between at this point.
It was fairly subtle, yeah.
Yeah, an American brown, an English brown, and some sort of variant porter is where it was. I should talk about that later. That's an overall impression sort of thing. I'm being a bad judge right now. Obviously, jumping ahead. Low on hops for the style. I said coffee is super subtle. I could easily confuse it with dark malt, which I easily did. Medium body, medium high carbonation, low warming. They're all appropriate for style. A little dark malt astringency, still pretty much okay. Liked the beer a lot. I said it was lacking coffee. A little on the dry side for an American brown, I thought, and then the hops were missing for an American brown too. And I said it kind of towed the line between a bunch of different beers, which is challenging if you're entering a competition in BJCP. Where do you put a beer like this? Because I think it's a really enjoyable beer, but it doesn't really fit it as an American because it's missing the hops. It's a little bit roasty. Definitely doesn't fit in the English because you don't have it's too bitter. Probably first of all too dry. And not enough English character, and definitely too roasty. And then porter, it's a little not punchy enough in the roastiness. So, wondering where to put it. Maybe it's kind of a weird sort of specialty thing or a mixed style, which would be an interesting thing to do. But I did really enjoy the beer. I just thought for judging it was kind of rough. So I gave it a 28 overall. I think stylistic accuracy, I gave you pretty much a low score, a 2 out of 5, and then merit and intangibles both were 4s. So I thought overall I enjoyed the beer. For coffee, not so good. Maybe you threw some Folgers instant crystals in it or something, but you didn't, which is great. But I thought, like I said, I thought it was a good beer, just more, maybe some polishing to make it fit a style, or decide to just go some other direction and just make your own style with it, which is totally fine. And for a wedding or something like that would be great.
Yeah, and there's plenty of brewers that say, forget you snobby, conceited judges. I'm not going to brew to make you happy. I'm going to brew what I like.
Right.
And obviously, since the last time we've talked to you, your wife is still married to you, right? And she likes your beers, right? Or is she a wine girl?
Sure.
Okay.
No, she's a supportive girl.
Okay. That's good. That's all you can ask for, buddy. No, but yeah, you're brewing some interesting stuff and you're experimenting a lot, and I can tell you're having fun with it. So I think that's cool.
Yeah, anytime I brew, my main thing is I want to be able to finish one and want another one.
Yeah.
So
all
of my beers tend to be kind of dry, and
if that's what you like,
the roast to kind of balance the sweetness. That's what I was kind of going for while I was building the recipe. I mean, I could see it where it might be. I agree, it might be nicer with a little more sweetness.
Where did it finish? Did it finish really low on the final gravity?
It finished at 10. That's not me crying, by the way.
Uh-huh. We've made people cry before.
It finished at 10:14.
Okay.
That's not bad. That's not. I mean, that's pretty. That's Where should that?
I think the roastiness really gives it a perceived
Right.
dryness.
Yeah, where'd that coffee thing come from?
It's all malt. It was insane. Like when I first tried it, I was going to add some of Modern Times. They have their barrel aged coffee.
Yeah, nice.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was going to add some of that, but then when I tasted it, I was like, there's already plenty of coffee in it. Like, because I never wanted it to just be a big coffee bomb. When I got it, I was like, there's enough coffee. I didn't want two coffees to kind of, conflict with each other. So I just kind of left it out, and I enjoyed where it was at. So
okay,
I left it there, and it all came from, I used biscuit malt, brown malt, and pale chocolate.
Okay. I like that pale chocolate. Yeah.
I love pale chocolate.
It's nice.
Yeah, I really, really like pale chocolate.
It's my
and
favorite.
then base malt is all the 4 malted Maris Otter.
Yeah, so it just landed where you want it. And yeah, that Maris Otter will give you a nice complexity of malt too. Like the base just supports all the stuff that's there and makes it shine. That's great.
Yeah.
It's a really enjoyable beer. I could drink a lot of this with you on a Thursday night.
Yeah, so when I first brewed this batch, I was getting ready to bottle some of that to send to you. Then I was bottling some to just send to other friends. And I didn't realize I went through 5 gallons really, really quick.
Like that.
I was bottling your guys' like I was going to bottle just 3 brand new batches for you guys, but I had to pull a few bottles that I'd bottled the other day because I went to bottle off the keg and it just started blowing CO2. I was like, shoot.
Yep. Yeah, we're heading down the coast here to see what you got next here. We'll be right down. No, but bottling wise, how are you bottling?
It's picnic tap with the bottle filler, and then I take the little spring piece off the bottle filler,
Okay. And you purge and all that, yeah.
Yeah, and I purge and everything. And I guess, I mean, I was doing it, I know a few of the bottles, I was doing it in a real rush. And I wonder if I didn't get a few of the bottles clean enough, or maybe I set the bottling wand down and it picked something up. Because this bottle I'm tasting, it's very rare that I get infection. And this bottle I'm tasting is definitely not what it was like off the keg. So something happened.
And I mean, because that first bottle that the guy's tasting, and there's a little bit left, and I tasted it doesn't taste like the other 2 bottles we just opened right now.
It was probably the best bottle we had.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that one got
getting some variation. Right. Yeah. So work on that. But the beers you're making are fun. You have kegs and you bottling? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Good.
So the beers I took to the wedding, I had 5 beers just off a kegerator and stuff. So they're all kegs.
Yeah.
And
what I do when I'm bottling with a bottling wand is I'll just keep a pitcher full of Star Sand there, and just in between bottling, I'll just set it down in there, and then it's fine.
I think that's what I should do. I was like balancing it on like a cardboard box, and maybe it touched something. And
maybe that voice sounds like it touched something, but you don't want to admit it.
I mean, like most times you're bottling something, it's for a competition or something that's coming up pretty shortly, and you don't have to worry too much about it. Even so, these beers aren't that far off. But yeah, I mean, maybe it's been a little bit longer, but you want to watch it, but at the same time, like if you're just doing it for competitions in a couple weeks, you're mostly okay. And I think, we talked last time I was here about, all the rules you can break in competitions, and I try to do that as much as possible and just try to, just make it as easy as possible for myself. Yeah. If you're gonna let them sit around for a while and send your friends for 6 months, then that's a different story and all that sort of stuff. But it's a month and, or a couple weeks before the competition happens, and they usually keep it cold. The beers are usually going to be pretty good, but
Keith is kind of a rule breaker, man.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Yeah. This bottle had been sitting around for a while.
Leg breaker.
So.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, do you have any questions for the guys?
As far as sweetness goes, would you just up the mash temp, or would you do more specialty malts?
And that's a great question. I think that's the one thing we wanted to talk about. We failed to talk about, and I think you have either option there. I think I think a little more consistent batch to batch. You probably want to up the malt. Probably the easier way to do it, add a little more crystal or something like that into it would probably be the best way to do it. You could try to up the mash temp, but you never know. You know, you're going to hit the mash temp, it's going to drop or whatever, and you can do it. But I would probably up the crystal a little bit. It'd be the easiest way to get that result that you want.
Yeah, that would mean I'd have to buy crystal malt. I don't think
You're
I've
like
used that.
avoiding it. Like no crystal malt in the house. Like you should put a sign outside. Like no crystal.
Yeah, I don't think I've used crystal malt in like 2 years or something like that.
With that base malt, you can make a nice English brown too. I mean, you know.
Yeah. And you were kind of I thought you were towing the line there already anyway. Like it was a little bit Englishy.
Well,
in
so
certain
when
things.
because I used London ale yeast too, and so I used I was kind of going for a North England brown. Is that what it is? North England?
Now it's just English brown ale. Yeah, there used to be
Northern English and
Northern and
English or
Southern.
whatever. So I didn't really know what I was going for. I just knew I wanted some chocolate, some roast, and some biscuit flavor. And the roast was high, but I liked where that gave it balance.
It doesn't have much of that. It doesn't really have any of that kind of nuttiness that you get in Northern English brown ale or English brown ale. But you know, it's nice for what it is. It's fun.
What would you add to get some more nuttiness in it?
Nuts,
like biscuit malt or victory malt. Yeah.
I thought JP was saying that you guys don't make dick jokes.
That wasn't a dick joke. That was a malt joke.
It's a ball sack joke.
Yeah,
it's different.
Very different.
Story.
Very different.
Go Nat joke.
Gotcha.
Thanks. You got to call us out, man.
So, sorry, what were you saying for the nuttiness?
Biscuit or victory or balls.
Yeah.
So I think probably up the biscuit and drop the brown or the pale chocolate. Which one would give more roastiness? I
would drop the brown. I mean, there's a lot of brown malt character in it already. You kind of taste brown malt in it, and even the pale chocolate. Like drop those a little bit and get a little more of the biscuit. And biscuit or victory.
Drop the brown completely, because I think there's only half a pound. Let me look at the recipe.
Brown malt's a pretty strange character malt that it is pretty detectable when it's put into a beer. I found, at least. I use it in some beers and I like it. In a brown porter, it's pretty awesome, and that's another style that's now doesn't exist anymore, but it was kind of essential for a brown porter. But when you're making a brown ale, I'd probably drop the brown malt.
Yeah, so like my malt bill on a 5-gallon batch, I have 7 pounds Maris Otter, 3/4 a pound pale chocolate, 3/4 a pound brown malt, and half a pound of biscuit.
3/4 pound, yeah. Isn't it ironic to make a brown ale you have to drop the brown malt?
Yeah, right? Yeah. I mean, even the pale chocolate probably is a little heavy. I don't know. I mean, even when you're making a brown, I don't know. I mean,
I feel like there's a lot of choices, a lot of places you could go that give this similar characteristics, and you can't be heavy-handed with it. Not that you were here, but you have to make a 1 or 2 choices. You can't have multiple because you're going to get a lot of the samey stuff. Is that about right?
And you have no crystal, so that kind of takes away from that sweetness we're looking for. You know, I mean, that's the first obvious answer. And every form you read on the internet, like, you have too much crystal in your grain bill, that they're going to say, but you have no crystal in your grain bill at this point in time. So a little bit probably wouldn't hurt. Yeah.
Just pop a little bit in there. Even in Northern English brown, it's drier, and the Southern English brown style is a little sweeter and a little lighter. But I think that a little sweetness playing off of the flavors that you have here would be nice. And you seem to agree with us. Just try it,
or just make it a lower gravity and do it as a mild is the other option as well. And it's a great mild. If it were, if it didn't have a little higher gravity, it'd be a great mild.
Even so, I'd still lighten up the chocolate.
Yeah, I think it's a good point.
All right.
Yeah, I'll try that next batch. All right, thanks, you guys.
All right, thanks, Matt. Man. You got your hands full, dude.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thanks for sharing your beer.
Good beer. I liked it.
Yeah, it's enjoyable for what it was. It's just. The joy of homebrewing is you can do whatever the hell you want.
That's very true. That is very true. See, I'm not going to do that one because that is inappropriate.
You're talking to yourself.
I am talking to myself, but What I want is my phone to talk to me whenever I'm near a place where I can get my AHA discount.
My phone already does that.
And
I have the Brew Guru.
You must have the Brew Guru. That's right. It's the free Brew Guru app from the American Homebrewers Association, built for homebrewers and beer lovers. Beer Guru delivers sage brewing knowledge and money-saving deals at breweries, beer bars, and homebrew supply shops. The American Homebrewers Association designed this powerful mobile app to help homebrewers and craft beer lovers explore the wide world of beer that we all live in and share. With Brew Guru, you can effortlessly find deals and save money on beer, food, and brewing supplies. Level up your brew IQ with hand-picked articles, proven recipes, and trusted resources from the AHA and Zymergy magazine. And use the powerful brewery locator to find nearby breweries, tap rooms, beer bars, homebrew supply shops, and brew pubs. Get the app today and follow the path to beery enlightenment. It's free. It's free. Don't worry about that. It's free. Yeah, you hook it up with your AHA membership number, and you're good to go, dude. Even if you don't have an AHA membership, which you really should, because otherwise it's kind of douchey. It'll still work for you, so you can still cruise around, and at least it will tell you when you're near a place to go and get a beer. But you won't be getting that discount.
All those discounts, yeah.
Yeah. So
Pop Grenade's on there. I saw it.
That's right. All right, we're going to take a break, and then we'll be right back drinking some Helles. It's Dr. Homebrew. Stay with us.
Hello, fellow BNers. This is Sully from the 21st Amendment Brewery located in San Francisco, just 2 blocks from Giants Park. Before Nico and I opened the 21A and before I was a professional brewer, I homebrewed on my small 4-burner apartment stove in a back house in Santa Monica, California, making my extract brews before graduating to the daunting idea of all-grain brewing. Homebrew books and information was hard to come by back then. The internet hadn't been invented yet, along with other things we take for granted today, like electricity and potable water. One thing I wish I had back then when I was learning was a radio show that could teach me the ins and outs of brewing and answer questions that I had about homebrewing, a resource for making great craft beer. The 21st Amendment Brewery is excited to be a proud sponsor of Dr. Homebrew, a great show that teaches you what you need to know about making incredible beer. Good stuff. Listen up, you might learn something. I certainly did. And thanks for your support. Tasty Crack Games.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing, and like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states, plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small, single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite bare bones club where you'll get the best deals anywhere.
Holy f***ing shit.
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business. Now, back to the examination.
All right, we're back. Thanks for sticking with us. Before we get to Ernie's beer, I have things to tell you guys about. I don't know if you knew this or not. I don't know if you knew this about me, but I like spreading information.
Yes, things about which to tell us.
The fine folks at Craft-A-Brew want to remind you about their awesomely compact conical fermenter called the Catalyst. Brian is currently fermenting in one, and he loves it for sure. It's made from plastic that is over 90% more scratch-resistant than other plastic conicals and 71% less oxygen permeable. It has a low-profile stand, which allows it to fit snugly in your fridge or right on the countertop if you're brewing a Saison or whatever. Cleaning is a breeze because the entire lid snaps off, so you can be sure to get all those crusties off the sides. Perhaps the best part is the giant 3-inch butterfly valve at the bottom, allowing you to attach any size mason jar at the end, at the bottom, for yeast collection during fermentation. Check it out. Learn more at craftabrew.com. And on the menu, click on the word Catalyst. It's a cool thing. I really like it, and the guys at Craft-A-Brew are good folks to sponsor this show, so
yeah,
we definitely appreciate it.
Thank you. It's good.
Oh!
Whoa.
Ernie's pissed right now. Ernie just threw glasses everywhere. There you go.
What happened? Breaking stuff.
What are you doing?
I was trying to rinse my glass.
Oh. Careful of that shard, man. That's a giant...
That is nasty.
That's nasty, dude.
A 3-inch glass shard sticking up out of an old pint glass.
Yeah.
I'll take an inch of beer in the bottom of it still.
It's not sticking up out of my arms.
That's good.
Right.
That looks like art over there. That's actually pretty freaking cool that you could actually do that with that glass.
I'll take a picture of it and I'll put it online here. So you opened another bottle of your Helles.
I did.
Why is that?
Because this one is not smelling great to me, but I don't want to bias the judges.
Nesto brought us hops too. Apparently he has friends.
Nice.
Can we plug him? I mean, he's not paying for it. But
No, then he can't. No, if he's not paying for it, he can't. This is pay to play.
Plug away.
It's play to pay.
Alpine hop growers.
Stop it. I was serious. People pay for this shit. This is actually things that people want to hear. Keith. Wow, I'm tired.
Whatever my name is.
Go for it,
it's
dude.
Fine. So a really quick story is my parents couldn't decide on my name. And the day I was born, my dad was like, "Oh, we'll flip a coin." And he was on the phone with my mom, and my mom wanted my name to be Kevin. My dad wanted my name to be Keith. Okay. He lied on the coin toss.
No way.
And said, "Oh yeah, it's Keith." And ever since then, every time I go to a dentist's office, a doctor's office, or a homebrew radio show, everyone always calls me Kevin. So that's why it's karma, I call myself Karma Kevin. I had a teacher once. He's like, "Well, why didn't they call you Keith Kevin Cost?" And I'm like, "Well, then my initials would be KKK." So that's why I didn't do that. So I have a different middle name, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. But it's Ulysses. But no, I'm just kidding.
Really?
So it's Cuck. Is my no, that's not it. But anyway,
all right, let's talk about Helles.
It's rough. I mean, this is a rough. I'm having a lot of problems with this beer. As a Helles, I got a lot of fruit on the nose. Some red apples, some pears. Get some maltiness.
Things that aren't supposed to be there, I imagine?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is for a Helles. I'm looking at why is it so fruity? Is this a fermentation thing? Is this a hop thing? As it warms, I get more of the sweet malt character. Pretty much beautiful in color, but the head, the head was non-existent. Died pretty quickly. Otherwise, it was a really great looking beer, but the head was a little, white head dropped out right away. Sweet malt, firm bitterness. The bitterness was a little high for this style, at least perceived wise. Then I got this ester sort of character as well. Could be hop derived, could be yeast derived, but and then just a touch of phenol is going there also. The balance was a little bit, I'd say probably a little bit too heavy on the hop side. I think with the Helles, you want to really have it really malt focused, and it was a little on the bitter side for that. Clean though, otherwise. Once again, sweet malt, not a ton of DMS, which was nice. A lot of times in a lot of Helleses, you find a lot of DMS, a lot of corn character. I really liked the malt character. It was sweet, but not any off flavors there at all. Medium light body, carbonation that I had the other day was medium, perfect for style. Overall, I was just questioning sort of the fruity flavors, that the pears, the apple sort of character was a little bit not really matching what I was looking for, and then also wondering about the bitterness, the harshness. Maybe it's also water derived is one thing to look at, and was it maybe the water was a little bit harder than you needed it to be, and it gave off that a little harshness there. Otherwise, I thought it was pretty good, but just I thought the esters that I was perceiving, I was giving it a 27 overall.
Okay, awesome. When you were saying the bit about the too much hop, Ernie, you were nodding your head in agreement. You totally get that.
I did.
Okay.
And that one of the pieces of feedback I was wondering too. I started this as a base Helles style, but it is too hoppy.
Okay.
I was just wondering, if it would have fit better someplace else.
Yeah, no, I mean, German Pilsner would be obviously the first answer to that question. They're the same sort of family of styles, and they're both Pils malt sort of based. Is it bitter enough to be a German Pilsner? I mean, there's a cut over there at some point. Other option would be sort of an export sort of beer too. Is the way to look at it. I think maybe it does probably fall more in that middle range than not actually being in a full Pilsner blown thing. I'm not sure about the aroma, if that is hop derived or yeast derived, where that's coming from. But I mean, that's probably one of the bigger questions that I would have, like how that fits in. Hop choice is a big question as a Pilsner. You get something that's going to give you a lot of fruitiness. That's not really, the spiciness or earthiness of a traditional German Pilsner. You're still going to get dinged really hard in a competition when you don't really have that sort of character.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you more about the recipe after Brian talks.
All right. Brian, let's do this.
I love this beer. I thought it was a perfect Helles. I gave it a 49.
Thanks, Brian.
Perfect. Concise Brian over here.
No, wrong sheet. So I got a little more of the corn-like than Keith did. I got a medium-low DMS and Pils malt character right up front. And it's slightly bready, but not as, just cleanly fresh and bready smelling as you want a nice Helles to be. And I've spent a little time in Munich. It does have that low cooked corn note, just lingers in the aroma. It just stays in there to me. I didn't get any obvious esters like apple pear, that kind of thing, like fruity esters from fermentation. It seemed like it was lagered well to me and cleanly fermented. Mm-hmm. There's no diacetylaldehyde, but so maybe just a tiny touch stale. But to me, there is maybe a little weird hop thing in there, and I didn't maybe call it a hop thing, but it has got a little spiciness to it and a little fruitiness in a hop way, kind of, you could say. Does that make sense? Appearance-wise, it's beautifully clear. That was a redundant question, JP. You don't need to answer it.
I don't. You know what? Tell you what. Don't ask them, and I won't answer them.
Is this beer beautifully clear? Yes, it is. There, I answered it this time. Okay, sorry.
All right.
And it's a bright, pale gold color.
Are you sitting on the glass that Ernesto broke? Ernie broke? Because you got something up your ass right now.
I do.
All right. Continue, please, Brian.
It had a medium white head. It was nice and creamy at first, and it faded after a short time. But still, the appearance was what you expect for a Helles. The head should stick around a little longer, but,
Yeah, it did kind of drop out.
Forgave it.
Yeah.
But in the flavor, I get like corn and bread. Hey, cornbread.
Cornbread. It's my favorite kind of corn.
Cornbread beer. These are the main components I'm getting up front, but, the bitterness is kind of medium-low and in balance with what else is there. But the hop flavor is fairly substantial, and it's a combination of like a spicy, fruity thing. It's spicy, maybe citrusy. So it's slightly sweet in the finish. It's got a malty aftertaste, but it feels and seems a little dry on the palate. And I wondered too what you did with your water. is it really high sulfate water? Is it, it's almost playing almost water-wise versus hops, like English pale kind of things going on, but not. It doesn't taste like an English pale ale in any sense of the word, but it's there's something playing a little weird there. It does dry out a lot, and I wouldn't mind a little more impression of sweetness. And I think maybe it could be the hop getting in the way of that. Could be a lot of things. Could be the hops playing off the water, but something's getting in the way of that nice, fresh, bready sweetness from the Pils malt that you want, and you want to keep and cherish. So
hold on to it.
Yes. Body-wise, it's kind of medium-bodied and persistent. It's maybe medium-high. It's kind of a little bigger than I want it to be. It just feels a little big. Carbonation, it's medium. It's not warming, and it's just not quite as thirst quenching as I'd hoped. It's a bit full feeling. At the same time, it's smooth. It's a pleasant drinking beer. It's just not very crisp like you would want for, crisp, a little bready edge for a Helles, and like if you were going to call it a Pils, like crisp with the right kind of hop for that, it doesn't work either way. So I kind of agree with that export comment. It's just a little full bodied and firm feeling, kind of like a bigger export beer. It's a pretty decent Helles. It's not horrible. These are mostly balance issues. There's just something going on with either the water or the hops or both. And you might want to pull that back overall, the mineraliness and the hops that are in there. Mm-hmm. Use some, I don't know what water you're using, but blend in some RO or something with it to kind of smooth out that water and bring back some of the sulfates and some of the other things that are going on in there. Also, the DMS is just a bit more than I'd really like. It's pretty prominent. You can boil it longer, just lager it more carefully, and serve it really fresh, too, for that super smooth, thirst-quenching beer that I want here. A lot of these are fine points. I gave it a little higher score. I gave it a 34, actually. That's where I landed. But, I enjoyed it for what it was, but it's not quite the Helles that I want. So,
okay.
Thanks for bringing it, though, Nesto.
Yeah, sure.
We have two bottles. We have two bottles here, and they're vastly different. And I just gave Brian the other glass.
Yeah, one's about 10 degrees warmer.
No. I mean, they're on the nose. They're just like entirely different beers, and one has a.
Yeah, the second one's a little more delicate and smoother.
Yeah, and I wonder when if
I thought that was just temperature, but maybe not.
I don't know. The second one came straight out of my fridge today, so. Good storage.
Yeah, no, they've been in my fridge the whole time. So,
some terrible things happened to this beer over time. It was an original Helles recipe, and then I happened to have my buddy give me some of the Styrian Eureka hops, and I said, "Oh, these smell beautiful. This would be a great base to throw them in." And so, I took what started as just a nice plain Helles recipe, and that I was just going to use Hallertauer Mittelfrüh on, and threw this into.
What a beer it would have been!
The beer that could have been. Every homebrewer's
the very nice man who taught me how to brew stole my iDip for the summer, so I didn't have my iDip.
Really?
I could not check my water.
Who is this nice man?
He's watching us on the live feed.
Let's beat him up.
Mr. Christofoli. He knows who he is. And so I just went with my last test. And so I have a feeling that, water gets harder and yuckier during the summertime.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that maybe I just, overcorrected for stuff that I wasn't able to figure out.
Okay, and that's what the mineral stuff you were
you
guys were talking about.
Oh yeah, I do. I
totally.
do. And I there's gypsum and calcium chloride that I added.
Yeah,
so
it just tastes like
probably just added too much.
Over-treated water.
Yeah, I think there's lots of ways to get around that. And not even adding any of that to your sparge water is an easy correction to that. There's calculations how much you want your calcium to be, your mash to be happy. But for a Helles style, I would really look at not even adding that to your sparge water at all. no matter what time of year it is. But I totally understand the variance in time of year. But a Helles, you're gonna always be happier with a little bit softer water.
And good feedback. These guys know I have a system. I don't sparge, actually.
Okay. Fair enough.
I have a Braumeister, so I don't sparge. I didn't add anything to sparge water. But what that means is I added everything I thought that I needed for my 30 liters of water all at once.
Well, it's the same thing. Whatever your final water that you put into
too much. At the very end.
Yeah, the other water you put into your kettle that hasn't been sparged through, you don't need to treat that water necessarily. Is what I'm saying.
And then the worst thing that happened, I went through just a nice lager ferment, almost the tasty lager profile type of thing.
Yeah, it seems like you did a good job there. I thought.
Well, right
for
after
the most part?
right after the diacetyl rest, I thought everything was beautiful. I dropped my fridge down to lager temperature and just left it. And I came out one weekend, and I don't know how many days the compressor on the fridge had failed. And so my fridge was at 90 degrees after it. And so, I didn't taste anything terrible that happened at that point.
It could have been a day. It could have been.
It could have been a day. It could have been up to 4 days.
Three or four.
Could that be maybe like the kind of red apple thing, Keith, that you were talking about? Could that be related to that at all?
It seems a little bit weird to have that happen. You said this was that lagering portion of its lifespan.
Yeah, near the front end of the lagering.
And then you went back and lagered it the rest of the way.
But that method you use is that warm lagering, right?
No. At that point, I had done. I pitched at, and I'm sorry, I pitched at 7 degrees Celsius. So whatever that is, 50.
Fucking
something.
math, dude. Weren't we just talking about math, Brian, and how everyone?
You were going to ask Siri what that is, right?
That's metric.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm all Fahrenheit.
I pitched at 7 degrees Celsius. I let it go up to 10, and so it fermented at 10 until I was.
Why? Why don't you use Fahrenheit, bro?
Because my brew system is in Celsius.
Oh,
so
that's right.
It's just easier.
That's right. 7 Celsius is 44 Fahrenheit.
Okay, 44, and so 10 must be 50 then.
Yeah.
And so I let it get to about six points above terminal at that temp, and then I raised it, and then I raised it for diacetyl rest.
Yeah. No diacetyl at all. That's definitely not an issue with the beer. So that's not.
Yeah. And so I wondered, some of the fruit character you get, I think, is the hops. I mean, I did a pale ale with this hops, too, and I got a lot of, not green apple, but more of the red apple and melon and
there you go.
Strawberry flavors.
I can drink a hell of a lot more of the second sample than the first one. It tastes very different to me.
Are you sure it's not a temperature thing? Because
no, dude, it's totally out.
Something happened to that.
It doesn't
bottle.
have as much of the DMS. It doesn't have that weird oxidized thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you get DMS with a bottle infection too?
I don't think it would come from a bottle infection. It's just like
no, I don't think you would.
I don't know. It might just be more oxidation or something on this one. I don't know. Like a
possible. I just use a Blickman beer gun for fill-in afterwards.
Sometimes
another advertisement for another. Else.
No, he's a sponsor. He's fine.
White phenolic in it?
I said that the other day, but right now I'm not.
I almost get that in the first sample. It's like
in the first sample. That's why I poured the second sample. I got a heavy phenolic aroma myself.
It's got a phenolic aroma.
Yeah,
aroma to it.
Sometimes ingredients and combinations of ingredients can kick off certain flavors that may be a contaminant issue, may not. Do you think we'll be running into that more and more? There's the new hop breeds coming out and kind of a lot of new malts and the way those interplay with each other. Do you guys see where I'm going with that? Is there some sort of ingredient working through that we still have to figure out as homebrewers and how these actually interplay with each other and as to what flavors they kick off?
I don't know where you're going with this, man.
I finished. I didn't go anywhere.
I mean, there are certain flavors that are off flavors that maybe hops sort of taste kind of like that as well. I mean, it's like, is that acetaldehyde or is that a new hop variety? And there's a chance there are certain things that are like that. Okay. So, I mean, I guess it's possible.
Well, I guess, for example, like the red apple thing, maybe it was the hops. Maybe, but that can also be a fermentation thing, can it?
Ester, right?
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm getting.
No, you're totally right. Yeah, and there are certain things that kind of play off. Like, is that actually you can kind of reproduce something via hops that could actually be a fermentation thing, And I heard there's also like caramel sort of flavored hops now, and it's like, well, is that really
like blueberry or
chocolate? Is that malt or is that actually the hops or is that what are you looking at there?
Yeah, and some of them are so citrusy with the ester. It's like playing against the esters that's already in an IPA or something or whatever.
Yeah.
Now we never did the beer with the hop floater in it yet, did we? Yeah.
No,
we talked about that.
You each had a cone, didn't you? You were supposed to drop it into the beer.
I
crushed my cone and smelled it. Yeah. Well, Ernie, do you have anything else for these guys? Because I gotta take us to break, and then we gotta stop the show. So
those were my questions. Thanks a lot for the feedback, guys.
Cool. I appreciate it, man. Yeah. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back with Dr. Homebrew.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star Sand, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today.
Grog tags aren't just for labeling your home brews to hand out to your friends. They're the perfect way to round out your personal brewing marketing. Bringing your latest beer to a funeral? Craft a metal sign to go with it. Heading out to little Liam's bar mitzvah? Grog Tag custom bottle caps are awesome. Couldn't get out of jury duty this year? Grog Tag the hell out of the deliberation room with reusable labels. Grog Tag has an awesome array of products just waiting to be customized by you. Metal signs, coasters, tasting mats, bottle caps, tap handles. It's all there waiting for your designs at Grog Tag. Liven up your next party with the widest selection of custom products ever offered by a sponsor of the Brewing Network. Grog Tag. At least your beer will look good. Admit it. Homebrewing is not always free of frustrations. Years ago, brothers Bill and Jim Mitchell decided to minimize those frustrations and create an entirely new brewing process and a brand new kitchen appliance, the Pico Brew Zymatic. The Zymatic sits on your kitchen counter and connects to the internet via Wi-Fi. It comes with access to a huge recipe library full of award-winning beers and can brew your next batch at the push of a button. Improve repeatability and refine your recipes with the Pico Brew Zymatic. With minimal cleaning and hassle, the Zymatic enables anyone to brew craft beer in the comfort of their own kitchen. Just add your ingredients and the process of homebrewing becomes simplified and automatic, allowing you to focus on what really matters while you brew. At Pico Brew, they believe everyone should be able to enjoy the art of homebrewing and make their own damn good craft beer. See the Zymatic in action today at picobrew.com.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but we're going to have to pour you out.
Back to Dr. Homebrew.
All right, here we are winding down another fantastic episode of Dr. Homebrew. I want you guys to know that. I think it's fantastic.
Winding up.
If you like all the judging talk here and you guys want to get a first-hand look on judging and you live in the Sacramento area, on October 8th at YOLO Brewing Company, the Gold Country Brewers Homebrew Club will be holding the Celebration. It is not only AHA and BJCP sanctioned, but it's the first official comp to be Brewing Network sanctioned, if that means anything to you. So if you guys want to be a part of the community and be a part of the Gold Country Brewers awesome comp of their celebration, email BOD, B-O-D, at goldcountrybrewers.org. By the time you hear this, you're only going to have 2 days, because the thing judging's on the 8th, so 8th of October. So email the guy. They're probably always going to need judges and probably always going to need stewards. But even if they're full up, man, just email them if you want to go and check it out. See what judging is all about. We need more judges out there. We need more people who want to drink beer and talk about it and dissect it and all that kind of stuff. So the Gold Country Brewers, if you are up in that area, they're a great place to start. bod at goldcountrybrewers.org.
So could we possibly hold a competition that was solely Brewing Network certified?
Actually, I mean, what do you mean brewing? Like
not BJCP, AHA at all. Not using the style guidelines at all. Like the only rule would be that you'd have to make dick jokes on your score sheets if you're a judge in that competition.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, there is talk about doing a BN competition, so we could throw in fun rules like that.
Think about it.
Think about it, won't you? Okay, so what we didn't do at the break, what we always do is talk about who won the things. So today we have a $40 gift certificate to give away to GrogTag. Find folks at grogtag.com. It's the At Least Your Beer Will Look Good $40 gift certificate. Check it out, grogtag.com. They got a lot of cool stuff. Custom coasters and tap handles, and they're actually working on making custom T-shirts now. So they really got the custom thing dialed in, man. What do you guys think? Are you doing the maths?
Making me do math.
That's okay.
Each of these beers scored a 30.5 average, so it's the same. They both win.
Oh, shit. They can't both win, though.
Didn't Matt win last time around? So
yeah, Matt already got
so
some.
Ernie won.
So let's give it to Ernie.
Yeah. Oh, you win again, Ernie. Look at that.
All right.
Congratulations, my friend. Congratulations.
And we don't like Orange County very much either, anyway, right? That's
Fuck the OC, bro.
Oh, man.
Go. In the Cocoa County.
Southern California is another state.
It really is, man. It really is.
Down there.
We won 2 states.
It is weird down there. It gets weird.
Until you get down to San Diego, then it's cool again.
Yeah, probably. I guess. Yeah. Sure.
Past Oceanside, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you that. I haven't spent too much time down there in San Diego. What else is cool is the Beer Bug. Friends of the Beer Bug. Go to thebeerbug.com. Check it out. If you want to know up to date, up to the minute stats on your beer, where it is fermenting. Is it done yet? I don't know. I don't want to have to pull a sample and take a hydrometer reading and all that kind of shit. The Beer Bug, man, hangs in your fermenter, talks to your smartphone via an app on wireless things or whatever. Even if you're not in the same house, you could be at work.
You get bored at work easily. This is the best thing for you. You just sit there and watch your fermentation tick down.
Yeah, stop getting on Facebook and start getting on the Beer Bug, man. Beerbug, thebeerbug.com. Check it out. They're cool people, man. Okay, we're finally done. Went a little overtime, but that's all right.
Do we get paid extra for overtime?
We don't. I do, but you don't.
Okay.
Do I get paid for this at all?
Brian does, but you don't.
We might buy your BART ticket.
Maybe. I wouldn't go that far. Ernie, thanks, man, for coming in and bringing the beers.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks for breaking the glass. We'll send you the invoice for that.
Yeah, hopefully somebody can make some great piece of art out of that.
Yeah. Kevin, Keith, I appreciate it. Thanks for joining us.
Anytime.
And for drinking the beers. And thanks to all of you for listening. I don't know. You want to be on the show? Send me an email, jp@thebrewingnetwork.com, and I might get back to you. I just wrote back to a guy who wrote us in February. So
thanks to JP for hosting and being so expedient and getting back to people.
I'm trying. I just don't care. I mean, I do care. Anyway, it's Dr. Homebrew, everyone. Stay tuned. Not stay tuned. I'm
Goodbye
tired.
for now.
I'm sick. I'm still fucking.
Good night.
I'm fucked
Go home
up,
and sleep.
All right. Goodbye.